Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to talk about who will the Golden State Warriors be signing in free agency. So before we start today's video, as always, I want to hear those beautiful, beautiful opinions down below in the comments. And let's get right into today's video, guys. I want to hear your thoughts and let's talk about it. So this team, it's interesting. Will they keep Kelly Oubre? I believe they're going to sign and trade him. I don't think they want to commit that money to him. They rather sign and trade him and try to get some assets back from him instead of just letting him walk. I expect Nico Mannion and Kemp Bazemore. I really think Kemp Bazemore is going to come back. I think if he's only going to get similar offers to what he got this year from other teams. And if he does get similar offers, I think he's just going to stay with the Warriors because of the situation. It's the best fit for him. I think they should trade Allen. I can't say his last name if anyone wants to comment down below. He's just been a bust. But everybody else, Juan Toscano Anderson, Eric Pascal, Michael Mulder, Damian Lee, Gary Payton II, Jordan Poole, Kevion Looney, are all good depth guys. They just need guys who are basically starters who are going to come off the bench, or like players who are star level players to come off the bench. And that's why, obviously, the best sign and trade they could do is for TJ Warren. I think this would benefit both sides because, look, they get a versatile 3-level scorer who would complement the Warriors bench and alleviate the loss of Oubre. Yes, Warren only played 4 games this year and he's an unrestricted free agent in 2022. Nonetheless, he averaged 19.2 points across the last 4 seasons, and he can play defense. On his best day, he's a plus defender, okay? So it's not like he's dreadful. Now, there's loads of names people would love, like if there could be the Derrick Rose option, but I don't think that fits them. I think there's guys like Nicholas Batum, Torrey Craig, and Otto Porter Jr. The problem is it's hard to gauge their price, and Nicholas Batum has made just under $150 million in his time in the NBA. So it's doesn't know if he's going to get paid or he wants to get paid for what he did this year, or he wants to keep taking pay cuts to be on veteran teams. Then Torrey Craig, up until last year, before Denver, most people didn't know who he was until Denver's bubble run. He's a scrappy wing defender who has a developing three-point shot, and it could be his payday because he's been playing on just minimum contracts for his career. So he's a guy that the Batum and Craig are both guys that good defenders who can hit threes that we don't know the price that might cost them the mid-level exception. Now, Otto Porter Jr. is a guy who's been paid, and he was so overpaid he became underrated. And inconsistency and injuries have plagued his career, and he just finished his lucrative contract. So I think this is a guy who might be a reclamation project that could potentially be on the minimum or a mid-level type player that at least brings standard value as a wing. Then there's the older minimum guys, which are like JJ Redick, Trevor Ariza, Andre Iguodala. I think those are the only guys that would be veteran minimums, like high experience veterans that the Warriors know. JJ Redick won't bring any defense. Trevor Ariza can play both forward spots, and he can stretch the floor and give some versatile defense between the 2, 3, and 4 spots. And both guys could probably be brought in minimums. Now, Andre Iguodala, I don't know how much he's going to cost. I think Kemp Bazemore, if he wants to return on a minimum contract, then he's a must sign. You can just bring him back. Oubre comes down to 2 factors. First, his price point. He might just simply be too expensive, and they don't want to pay that luxury tax for him. And because they have his bird rights, the Warriors can pay any amount to bring him back. So he's expected to receive $15 million, and I don't think they want to pay that. So secondly, Oubre has to be willing to return to Warriors as a bench role, which he might not want. So that's why I think the sign and trade. Now, Iguodala is a guy who could get his option picked up to use as a trade piece, but I doubt it. I think he's a veteran minimum guy. I don't think anyone wants to pay him. Now, another guy I think would be perfect. They need a center, even though they have James Wiseman and Draymond Green and Kevon Looney. Imagine bringing in Dwayne Dedman. This guy averaged 7.1 points, shooting over 70% from the field. He's 7 foot tall, and he also can space the floor. Like, he was 1 from 3, for deep during the Bucks. Okay, during that series, and he averaged 6.3 points, playing just over 14 minutes a game. And I think Dedmon wouldn't make them instant title contenders, but he would be a player that could help their front court rotation with his size, length, and efficiency. He's just a guy who does everything well, and he could be really freaking cheap for them, like really cheap. Because imagine if they bring in Dwayne Dedmon, and I guess in this case, we would want them to bring. I mean, TJ Warren would be awesome because then the starting lineup would be Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and James Wiseman. And they also would, I think they should draft James Bouknight and Corey Kispert. And then the bench would be James Bouknight, Corey Kispert, TJ Warren, Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole, Gary Payton II. Well, let's take out Gary Payton II. Damian Lee, Michael Mortar, Eric Pascal, Juan Toscano, Anderson, all people who can shoot, like, and Kent Bazemore, that's like 10 guys, and you put Gary Payton, all guys that, like, are willing to shoot the ball and can play defense. I think they're back into being contenders. Is that too much? Is that too much? Is that a tall glass, of Kool-Aid to sip? Am I crazy for thinking that? Like, is that exorbitant? I don't even know what would be the right word right there. But I honestly think right there, especially once they get if they need to keep these picks, I'm sorry. If they can draft guys like James Book, I really want them to do Davion Mitchell and Corey Kispert, two guys who are pro ready, who can come in and play right now. That'd be awesome. But a guy I really think they should bring in is Reggie Jackson. Imagine Reggie freaking Jackson on this team, okay? I think Reggie Jackson would be so interesting. He would help this team tremendously, and I definitely think he's a guy that the Warriors would enjoy having on this squad. Okay, Reggie Jackson off the bench, he'd become their immediate sixth man. All right, and this is if they let Kelly Oubre just walk and, don't trade for TJ Warren. Imagine just Reggie Jackson now. I really like the idea. Reggie Jackson during the playoffs was absurd, okay? Reggie Jackson was a playoff menace. He averaged in the postseason, I'm trying to pull up his stats right here, 17.8 points on 40.8% shooting from three. And he had about a steal a game. He was a guy who was just a dog. He was just doing dog things. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts down below. And what do you guys think? So, again, guys, let me hear those thoughts. We're just going to milk this video to 8 minutes because that's what we do here. We milk things to 8 minutes. That's how I get paid. That's how I get money to do things and go out and live my life. So, yes. Bye.